It's me. I know it's been a while. So Kays is on vacation this week, so I'm filling in for him. It'll be, man, it's been actually a really long time since I've done this. Last time was with wow, actually the last time that I did Valorant casting was the last time that I had to fill in for Kays. So I'm here. I'm happy to fill in for Kays here, and we will be playing various things this week. So it'll be Aimdroid versus Hyperspike. Hyperspike being from our good friends over at Epic, Aimdroid, Google's team, playing in the CEA today. YouTube Studio when was like XCS in the background being like, hey, what are you doing with the broadcast stuff over there? I'm here. I'm doing it. I got it pulled up. I'm watching chat. Hi, chat. How are you doing, chat? Hope chat's having a good day. Music is doing music things. Of course it does. What do we have anything interesting? Let me pull up the CEA stats here. Sign in. I know it's an exciting day here. I believe this is second round of this week. Oh, not second. Par for the course, really. So good music. People are slowly filing into the party right now, figuring out where people need to go and what they are doing. I will be playing in an observer capacity today, not actually playing on the team, as fun as that would be. All right, all games. Valorant. All right, so today's game. I have stats now. It's great. I know. We will be playing against Aimdroid, not we. Aimdroid will be playing against Hyperspike. Hyperspike's current record right now is 2 wins, 0 losses, 0 ties, giving them 6 points in this this tournament for this season. Aimdroid, however, is at 1 win, 1 tie, with 4 points for the season. So they are in turn ranked number 1 and number 2 through the season. As for Hyperspike players, there we got Freddie Y, Haunt, Dinky, KP, Retta HS, and Jean Yu. And then on Aimdroid, are very friendly and very consistent, massive list. Today we have playing. I have to double check my list of who's on what teams and doing what. We have Lightning 13XX playing under XCS, Crispy Josh, Joe Fu. We have is good. Trying to figure out who's going what. Maybe I should just, lurking while gaming. Hey, Game Time DJ, welcome to the stream. Happy to have you here. We are live on both Twitch and YouTube because we are playing it even across our boundaries here. And I apologize for the ads, but let's get them out of the way before the game actually starts here. Pulling up the roster here. Let's see, actually, it's a good upcoming games. Hyperspike, yep. Hyperspike is the home team. So due to a rule change that is happening this week, home teams always get to start as a team instead of doing a coin flip. It just makes things easier because technically the coin flip happens on CEA backend anyway, whenever it's determining who is home and who is the away teams. It's not always the higher ranked seed. There's also post-plant depression, also from Epic, playing against Metamate this week. They are ranked number 5, but they're home against ranked number 4 Metamate. So everybody's piecing together all of the fun rule changes here. Technically, I can step in his capacity, but I'm let them do their needful here. For those who aren't aware, I don't do Valorant too much anymore. However, if you like playing the finals, hit me up. We are working on setting up a competitive scene under the CEA for finals, as well as I just like playing the game. So I'm the game lead for that. And happy to have more players and more teams. All right. Referencing rules channel. Valorant. Legends rules. Overwatch. Nobody cares about Overwatch anymore. Where's Valorant rules? Yep. All right. Game map picks and bans. We are piecing together what we're going to have here. So, Hyperspike starting off this week with banning Haven. Ban on Split from Aimdroid here. Tough and amazing deliberations to be had here. That actually leaves quite a few maps that are still open here. All right, map 1 pick is going to be Fracture from Hyperspike. Haunt joined in today, so there we go. Start filling out the rest of the teams here. Hopefully everybody's days are going well. I just realized I hadn't had my outfit change on. There we go. Pick Fracture starting on attack for Aimdroid. Honestly, I would have to say that that's probably a pretty smart picture. Defense is a pretty good start. However, attackers have so many different ways to get onto site, where as defense you have to watch, 4 major incomes, versus as an attacker, right, you can kind of bait on one side, and it takes a while for the defense to rotate over, so you can bait on one side, pull them off sides, and then do a force on the side that was pulled off on. So our second pick for tonight will be, or today, depending on what time zone you're in, will be Icebox, and it looks like Hyperspike is going to be starting as attackers on Icebox as well. Taking down all of my lovely notes here. Music coming in clutch to keep this going from too much undead air. Patiently waiting as we move forward. Everybody's getting their teams set up. Attacker coach left. Okay. Looks like I will not have full visibility today, which is unfortunate. But Goose are. We're missing a few on one of the defender teams. All right, so our current lineup for this week is going to be Appisborg, XCS, Goose. I am Ace White, Crispy Jofu on Aimdroid, and then for Hyperspike we've got Dinky, Freddy, Janyu, Shatter, and Hot. Just waiting for teams to readjust. We are going to be playing on US Central Texas. First map is going to be Fracture. Attackers, obviously, as I noted before, is going to actually be starting on with Aimdroid, and with Hyperspike on defense, and then that's going to flip for the next map. All right, and we get into the game. Let's see if OBS, come on, you got this. You can do switch. Oh, am I gonna have to like throw display capture in there? Probably. And maybe my game crashed. It'll be fine, they said. Game capture, remove. There we go. All right. Sad that I have to do display capture, but is what it is. Piecing together here. Let's flip over to the game view that we've got up here. Hopefully game audio. Oh, right. Because we're in the captain slot, not in the spectator slot, we don't actually get all the nice music. But it gives us a chance while we got 15 seconds left on the clock here. So, bunch of different hovers right now. Nobody's quite locked in. Goose, however, has picked up Yoru as their agent. Appisborg hovering over Breach. XCS hovering over Tejo. There we go, the lock-ins. I am Ace White on Cypher and Crispy Jofu over on Brimstone. In just a second here, we're going to see what Hyperspike has. Dinky over on Breach. Freddy over on Tejo. Janyu over on Brimstone. Shatter on Jet. And Haunt playing Chamber. Frenchman. I know we're super excited for a fun and exciting time today.
Okay. This is good.
And we can begin the match here. So because of how rules and regulations weighed out, I will only have access to the Aimdroid side of the broadcast, which is C'est la vie. So we're going to have to be able to see from kind of the attacker's point of view, and from just kind of observe and be able to make callouts pretty much about as well as the team itself can make those calls. And great regrets that I have forgotten to do is fill up my water bottle. Right as we start, I am Ace, running with the camera, trying to see if anybody wants to jump peek over on B main. The rest of the team walking up. Goose holding point here, hitting the trap, pushing through, does manage to get spotted by Tejo. Tejo takes out Goose. John picking out the Cypher, a nice White, who was trying to peek out through main. A Breach ability comes through. There's a shock, there's a flash on site. Janyu picked off by picking off Josh, Janyu, and grabbing Appisborg. There's one left. XCS, Tejo, up at the top, does spot one, does get spotted, picks off two, but there's one more up in heaven. Freddy A cleaning up what's left of Aimdroid and bringing this up to a 0-1. This is Econ.
Once they're blind, we move.
This is where kind of like your first set of, this is where even play between the two teams happen, right? So everybody's not the same base money. What can they do with that first play? And that ended up with Aimdroid actually taking the loss on there pretty handily up until the last, few seconds of the round.
Time to kill the handsome Colombian.
Hyperspike hadn't taken a single hit. Starting out here. Sending up utilities. There was a flash that kind of floated on. Grabs the orbs, teleports all the way down and under. Tejo, Freddy picking up 2 kills at the beginning. Goose picking off Freddy. Not necessarily an excellent trade. It's 2-4 or 3-4 right now. Ace White blocked off by the breach. It's camera. Does pull up, does manage to see one, but it was shot down. Goose getting a shot in the back, chased from heaven. Appas does see him up on the roof. Picks off one. Ace White forcing a fight with Brimstone. Is flanked, however, and there's an outlaw trying to catch our good friend from the Middle East. Appas doing the best with his pictured games, but Shatter coming back with the outlaw, picking off another of Aimdroid. That's 2-0 for Hyperspike.
That Brimstone better stay out of my way.
Brimstone, in fact, will not be staying out of your way. He will, in fact, be right in your face, Appas, unfortunately. There's a lot of oppressive and kind of delay abilities that we have from Hyperspike here, right? Jet has smokes, Brim has smokes, Breach has his util with a repeated cannon. Aimdroid switching it up, going to be making a play over on A side. Big stun, does manage to capture Goose though, so that's going to pull one of them off sides. There's payback. Flash does peek out though. They don't use that opportunity to swing, unfortunately. Watching out for flanks. They're not happy about what happened last round. Using the Yoru flash in order to try to bait. Doesn't actually pick anybody up. They are pre-frying all of their angles, especially any penetrative blocks that they can get. One spotted up on top, was picked off by Appas. Stun goes out. They're on site. Aimdroid has an opportunity to plant right now. Tejo does get spotted from behind. Ace White ready. Everybody doing callouts for where everybody is. Connector pinned back in the corner.
Amateur.
Think he does manage to pick off his component here. Two together. Ace White holding the corner while Appas tried to flank. Unfortunately, did not work. And Appas managed to get picked up. However, Aimdroid does complete their round, giving him a little bit of money, a little bit of play.
Need equipment.
Hyperspike still up 2-1 now.
Gun here. Ah, this is a nice spot. This goes here.
As our fourth round begins, Aimdroid going back to B, trying to get a little bit of noise made. Not playing it quiet. That smells like a sniper. Little droid comes down, picks up where Jet is. Was suppressed, shot down though. Trade. It was a trade. Johnny managed to pick up off Ace White over in the front. Gofu picking up John. Big sprays. Not able to quite convert it anymore. Appas picked up by Haunt via spray from the corner. XCS lands one of his shots, but not the other two. One, two. Oh, almost for three for Josh, but unfortunately not able to convert. Goose is spotted, so they know where he's at. But unfortunately, Freddy already took too much damage. Goose gets a single tap in the legs, cleans it up, and now it's 2-2 evened out.
Ever. I need a drop. I need a drop.
Drops being requested, funds being shuffled. Looking at our econ here, right? We can see that Goose, 50 points, had to get a request in or made his purchases, but isn't able to get a full shield out of it, unfortunately. Pretty even across the board. Appas is managing to convert a lot. More kills, more deaths, but unfortunately, that's just how the game goes. 2 shots, teleport out. They know Chamber's on site. Bugs going in, trying to find out anybody interesting. Nobody on site. Smokes in all of the critical areas. Goose on site planting. Is spotted. Flank gets picked off by Josh in the background. Flash comes out, isn't able to convert that into a kill. Apple uses the spray. John fires back down the line. There's a lineup.
Right here.
Pinging on site, unfortunately, no longer works.
All missiles away.
Doing the same thing right back at them.
Open up the sky.
And an ult drop. Tejo trying to push. Trying to use the opportunity, even if they can't necessarily get the bomb, to get some kills. But unfortunately, there were just guns pointed down the alley.
Bites hard. Careful.
I need a drop. I need a drop.
It's 3-2. Micro reverse? Maybe? Who knows? I've just cursed them with the caster's spirit. 3-2 now. Aimdroid leading.
Jump them.
YouTube complaining that my bit rate's too high, but unfortunately, it's a fast-paced game, so that's what we're going to need to use.
Enemy spotted.
Flash comes out. It was a ping of an enemy.
Let's go. All missiles away.
Fully smoked.
Okay,
Beacon down.
Big moves. Goose managed to get on site, doesn't see anybody. Tejo does get spotted as he tries to run up. There was a ping. There's one more. Aimdroid asserting site dominance here, controlling all the entryways. Smokes are out. A lot more vicious for any kind of peeks. Jet gets spotted.
One enemy remaining.
Takes off.
Flawless.
Goose using the clone as a bait
Oh my
does
kid.
manage to
My
get
knees are gonna kill
the
after
enemy
this.
brimstone out and available. 4-2. Aimdroid still leading here.
Try not to die.
Stim beacon here.
Drone going.
All right, we're back. Aimdroid is setting up for a new play this time. See how well it turns out. Bot is
Fully smoked.
up and on site. We're noticing Hyperspike doesn't really play a lot on site. Goose
Spike down A.
using their ult.
I'm back.
Last player
Ooh.
standing.
That play didn't quite work out as well as they had hoped. Aimdroid getting wiped out as soon as they tried to step foot. Does see the shoulder. Does see two more, but unfortunately, that econ round for Hyperspike does play out, gaining them a net.
Stop fighting.
But still down by 1, 4-3. Aimdroid leading.
Yes, this should do.
Aimdroid setting up again. We've seen all of the different angles of which they can come at the different sites. In this particular case, we're going to see them pulling up on a main rush.
Drone going out.
Drone leading the way. Doesn't quite manage to pick up any sites. Drone duration about to fall down. Smokes come out.
Reload.
Enemy smoke, actually, to block off that area. Doesn't see anybody. No visibility. Ace sneaking his way up through sands. Does make a step. Not sure if it's been noticed. Hyperspike. Quiet. Everybody timing all their abilities and util together. Goose is on site. Doesn't see anybody. Ace.
Cutting through.
Prepare for hellfire.
On through rope. Ult comes out. Tejo is going to take a good chunk of damage there. Drop the spike right on the edge. Going to be picked up. Going to get dropped again. John managed to pick up Ace White over in the corner though. Stun. Keeps him out. Dinky picking up Jofu. Goose hiding in the corner. Does not have his cursor on top of Tejo's head. From behind, Hyperspike. One.
Out.
One enemy remaining.
Make it 4.
Don't realize that he. I was like, wait a minute. Did he not hear the spike diffuse sound? Guess not. Does get a team wipe, so that's going to be an econ hurt. Not like it's going to matter too much. Everybody's kind of at good buying, and they can definitely share the wealth. Down over on Hyperspike. It's 4-4. Getting kills matters, but getting the bomb down matters more. So that is what victory is determined on in this game.
Get out of my way.
Setting up for a B-man rush here. Everybody's on site, except for White, waiting for a flank. XCS using the bot in order to kind of get visibility on what's going on. Good jumping. Trevor's coming out. Or I guess Aftershock. Goose up on site. Does have control now.
Time to jump.
Leaves a jump in case he needs to have a way out here.
Decoy.
Making a lot of noise on site. Does see one, is spotted in the corner. The rest of Aimdroid going underneath here. Ace White. Coming up the back. Another smoke coming down. Goose holding the peak. Hiding in the corner, was not spotted by Goose over on
Missiles away.
by the box because he was low.
One enemy remaining.
My ult's ready.
Excellent gun placement here from Aimdroid. We're seeing kind of that gunplay versus util capability.
30 seconds left.
And number one is Ace White on the flank. Doesn't need it though. Goose picking up his 4th kill for this round. Tejo picked up.
I don't care if there are 5 of them or 50 of them. I need a drop. Thanks. I need a drop. Thanks.
Yoru being arrogant with his voice line there. Aimdroid 10 seconds left before the round starts. Trying to figure out what they're going to do. They're going to stick with what they know works. B-main rush.
Stim beacon here.
I'll handle this. Locating targets.
Tejo again using the bot. Does manage to find one. Goose from the back.
Stand your ground. Time to jump.
Leaves the orb out just in case he needs to teleport out. Does see Jet, picks him off. Wasn't quite ready to be from the behind. Tejo in a weird spot. Goose manages to see so many people yet so little. Brimstone over on Hyperspike side, hiding behind barrier.
Grenade is live.
Goose can't quite convert it. John picking him off. Ace isn't quite able to convert it. Oh, the double swing meant that they could just easily move their cursor over. Hyperspike gonna get it a fuse, bringing it back to an even 5-5. This is a close match.
Remember, I hit them with explosives, then you go in. No la vayan a cagar.
Tejo saying words. Words. Excellent album, really. Aimdroid piecing together what is a slightly different plan from what they usually do. Tejo running flank over on the far side. Jofu off to go join him. Ace White also. Kind of a split. This is what I was saying with those offsides, right? Where you can create a little bit of demand. Unfortunately, that swing had that Jofu picking up one. XCS using his bot to get on site. Doesn't quite see anybody. Cypher coming back.
My ultimate is ready.
Smokes did go down, though.
My ult's
From
ready.
Hyperspike. Taking the opportunity, rotating, picking off one more. Death by 1,000 cuts is what we're seeing here from Hyperspike. Waiting for the smokes to dissipate. There's Pink. There's Tejo. Does manage to back out. Does get picked off from the back. He wasn't ready for somebody to be there. There's the smokes coming down. Forcing people to get out of those smokes and onto site.
Reloading.
Plant in a slightly weird spot.
Reloading.
Team is ready. Jofu doing the flank underneath. That may actually put him into a bad spot though.
Last player standing.
He's got ult. Doesn't matter. Ult comes down. Forces them off of site. He's got gun.
Volley.
Again, forced off. There is no chance that he knows where he's at.
Stim beacon down.
Still doesn't have enough time necessarily because the bomb is going to go off. That's a full wipe from both teams with the bomb explosion picking out Gian. 6-5. Cost of the econ versus
Last
cost of the
round
win.
in the half.
Last round before we swapped sides and we get to see what Hyperspike plays on attack. Thus far, Aimdroid and Hyperspike trading it bat for bat back and forth.
Thanks. I need a drop.
Need equipment.
Last opportunity with some familiarity. Aimdroid taking the opportunity to go for a B main side here.
My ult's ready. I'll handle this.
destroyed.
Camera did manage to see 3 of them. That's the big rush onto site. They know where the teleport's at least. From Chamber. He's definitely out of range.
I'm back.
Goose. Waiting for a rat play.
Zakuga.
Ready with the judge.
Fake teleport.
Sending down his judgment. Rest on site. Freddy picking off Apple's board. Ace ready. Popping off the ult in order to get visibility. And the last 2 are. They found 1. They found 2. He's up top.
One enemy.
Having Dangle gets shot. Goose picks off Jet over on it on B main. While Ace gets the last kill for the round, bringing it up to 7-5.
Sides.
Aimdroid leading. This is going to be where we see the switch, where econ meets econ, where everybody starts with pistols. Crashing back to last round, we did see a particularly brutal round where Hyperspike was able to use their pistols fairly effectively. Ace trying to get that little sneaky spot right at the tip.
This goes here.
Whether or not we see a replay of what happened last round depends on how Hyperspike is able to play this round. Again, we don't have visibility into Hyperspike's plays until they happen.
This is a nice spot.
All's quiet on the frontier until we see a big push from Sat. Trade.
Spike down A.
Aimdroid down slightly here. Another set of trades, 2-3. 1,
Last player standing.
2.
One enemy remaining.
Isn't quite able to convert that. That is a damaging round though. Even with the win, right? Bringing it to 7-6. Aimdroid's still leading.
Zakuga better watch their backs.
The fact that people weren't alive means that they're not going to be getting credits for that at the end of the round, especially if they bought up and got things like I was about to say V9S, but that's a finals term. A mostly conservative save here, maybe a few abilities. That's pretty much about it. Everybody's running with classics over on Aimdroid. They get a gun, they get a gun. If they don't, they don't. They are playing it hard on A side, though. No visibility onto B. Apple's work, maybe remediating that. They definitely hear it. They see the smokes. There's the big rotate. Plank comes down.
Spike planted.
The smokes will come down right about... Well, they just got refreshed, so maybe not.
Smoke's down.
Most of these smokes come down. Ping comes out.
Right there.
One ping, one up in the roof. Shots up. Gotta trade guns. That Vandal is being ruthless.
One enemy remaining.
Spectres, Bulldogs.
Last player
Oh,
standing.
he's spotted by the last little bit of his frame here. It's
Hold on to your
1v1.
hats.
He's gonna at least gotta hold it.
Thrifty.
Right down to the last second. Does get knifed at the end, though, but that's not gonna count for much. Maybe a little bit of extra econ for Hyperspike.
It's the least we can do.
8-6. Aimdroid leading. This is where we finally have some purchases and buy-ups from Aimdroid on attack this time. Peeking, don't see anybody. Technically waste of a util. There's smokes over on B side. Flash opportunities. Does manage to see one. Is smoked off though. Picks off the one. Spike carrier was killed. So Spike is over there. Does manage to see one. Gotta switch guns. He teleports back. Take the opportunity. Reload the gun. Pull back. They know where he's at though. They just don't know where Jet's at. And that's the scary part. Flash. Pushed back. Jet likely probably going underneath. Oh, Jet is in defense spawn actually.
One enemy
On
remaining.
site. Good swing from Ace. Saving Goose here. Scaring the crap out of him.
One left standing.
Jofu getting the pick off. Over on Shatter playing his Jet. Trying to get up 9-6.
Feeding war, but I like rounds.
Aimdroid still leading.
Drop.
3 more rounds. That ties it up. Or do we get to see a good reversal here from Hyperspike?
This goes here.
Big setup. Huge reliance, really, on Ace playing a Cypher over on B site. Hoping
Get out
that
of my way.
nobody is visible. Using the rope trick in order to trap people who try to get on it. That's rough. Nobody. Big push up.
Still.
Does get picked off. 2. 4-3.
Launching smoke.
3-3. 2 more in main. Isn't quite able to convert that. Dinky managed to pick up. They are on site. Crispy. Josh. The smoke's about to fall.
Spike planted.
Does one. Gets a tap. Where are the rest? He doesn't know. Waiting for Ace.
One enemy
Miles
remaining.
ready.
Backing off a little bit. Does have it all. Chooses to back off. Last one was found by Ace in the back. Easy to fuse. 10-6 at this point for Aimdroid.
Sorry to spoil the party.
Just as a reiteration, this map was picked by Hyperspike.
No more
Side to
doubts.
pick by
We're ready.
Aimdroid. The next map that we play will be picked by Aimdroid with the side pick by Hyperspike.
Cutting through.
Or 3, 2, 1. And this round begins. Aimdroid, again, setting up pretty heavily over on A side, using a lot of their util and relying on Ace's cameras. Drone is spotted. A little bit of shots put down and converting over. They know they're on grass. Stun comes out. Oh, Sheriff right in the face. They know he's up on top.
Spike planted.
Spike plants over on A side here. Jofu waiting to get in. Goose using the decoy in order to peek. Just managed to bait one. Teleport happens over onto the right hand side.
Last player
Jet
standing.
hiding off on the right. Does manage to pick one. Dodges the flash. Gonna take his gun and run though. Try to take as many guns with him. Goose 10 health. Playing it hard. Doesn't manage to keep his gun though. Janu swings in a hit. I was gonna say swing and a miss, but that ain't right.
How's that for a plan?
10-7. Hyperspike gaining a point, but Aimdroid still in the lead. Now that we have some more kills on the board, we can definitely see, you know, who's playing util, who's playing kills, who's playing, you know, Goose up here, 23 on the board, followed by 13, 13, 13, all of them playing pretty equally, and then Lightning, XCS at 5 kills, relying a lot more on kind of playing with and for the team rather than playing with the guns. Big shift on how they're approaching things. Bot ping does come out, but Jet was spotted on B.
One suppressed. All missiles away.
Does manage to get the pickup, but does see another one. That gives Aimdroid a little bit more of a hint. What's going on? Picks up one, picks up two. However, Freddy's already on site.
One enemy remaining.
Hyperspike got a ping. Tejo, last one. Ace cleaning up, making sure that nobody's coming down the main lines. Everybody else, shields and full health. They heard the step plant on A. They are running.
Spike planted.
Blinding.
Plant was out. They spotted him. That's going to be Ace. Picking off a little headshot there. And then Diffuse comes down. Hyperspike does manage to get the plant down, so they're going to get some extra creds. I believe it's 200 for getting a successful plant. But is that going to be enough to change? It's the cost of an ability. Maybe 2, depending on the agent that
Wipe
you're
the
playing.
prints from your guns.
I need a drop.
It's just good crime scene etiquette.
Thanks.
Aimdroid feeling a little bit better about that. They need 2 more rounds, bringing them up to 13 if they needed it, but it's 11-7 right now. Aimdroid leading.
That goes there. Oh, this is a nice spot. This goes here.
Again, relying pretty heavily on Ace in order to hold down an entire site. Definitely using the opportunity to get a free site here. Goose teleporting out of danger a little bit. Already on site. Ooh, does manage to get spotted. Goose popping ult. 1, 2, 3.
Spike planted.
One, 2 is on fire. Does get spotted. Can't quite run away because of the fire.
One enemy remaining.
Down to 5. Gonna pop his ult in order to get that
Last
clean up.
player standing.
Isn't able to get the conversion. Shatter coming in clutch that round, getting 4 out of the 5.
Easy here. And if they don't, pues, you can't complain if you're dead.
That goes there. Yes, this should do. This goes here.
Weapons up, thumbs open.
Playing a little bit of an econ round, a little bit of buy up for the most part. Hopefully trying to capture what's going on. Does manage to get stunned. One. Trying to bait out. One. 3-4. XC has picked off. Apis does manage to grab Dinky though for a trade.
Last player standing.
Isn't quite able to convert
One
that out.
enemy
Ace is
remaining.
last one up. He's got a phantom. Does manage to convert it. That is an amazing econ round. All they needed is one.
Match point.
Now,
Bringing him up the match point now with a very good buy prospectus. Ace probably not going to buy it with full shields.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
Seeing some pings on where they're betting where things are going to happen.
That goes there.
What are you guys doing?
Yes.
It's like
this should do.
plain conservative, for lack of a better term.
You want
Get
to
out of my
play?
way.
Let's play.
No visibility over on B main.
Fake teleport. Time to jump.
One was spotted over on A side. Two spotted on A side now. That gives Aimdroid a lot more confidence on where people are. Goose not quite seeing anybody over on A. Ult comes down. They are playing ability off. Big push, big smokes. One pick, two picks. Gonna hold it.
Spike down A.
Smoke's down. Molly.
Reloading. Spike
Stim beacon here.
Stim beacon out in order to hold off Sands. That's a crazy move. Goose holding quietly. Little tiny peeks every once in a while. He is closer to the block.
30 seconds left. One enemy
One.
remaining.
All that's left is Cypher, who tries to jump down
Defenders
from
win.
satellite. And for that, Aimdroid does manage to pick off the first match. Take a small break. We will be right back. It's me. I still don't have access to the chat room, so I'm gonna Sun Lightning and no, be like, hey, by the way. Shout out to Stream Beats, by the way. Amazing track set to listen to. So now that we're back, now that we're ready, what are we playing? So quick recap for what happened last round. What we saw was first, 3 rounds went back to back to back to Hyperspike. They were able to manage to kind of set the original tone and speed of what the playstyle looked like, right? They use their econ round, they use their buy up round, they use the first full set as a way to set tone. Aimdroid didn't play by those rules, manages to come back and bring them all the way up to 5-3 before they start trading back and forth, right? As we got onto defense, what we saw is Aimdroid had an extremely well set defense, right? Utilizing their agents to their potential, right? Especially relying a lot on Ace playing a Cypher, blocking off, kind of controlling an entire site with just a single agent. That leaves 4 that can be ready for kind of a defense, right? Playing 4 retake on one, but will not give up on another, right? Now, what we're going to be moving to is, as we approach into the next map, will be Icebox. Attackers, again, were... attackers were started last round as Aimdroid. Now the attackers starting this round will be Hyperspike. So this will be back-to-back Hyperspike attacks. What we're actually going to see when kind of interacting on that, right? I see Fracture and Icebox as entirely different maps. Their layout is not quite similar, especially given the fact that there's a lot more verticality to Icebox. And so what we're going to see a lot more of is the play between how they set up their defense, how they hold their defense, likely a much more spread defense rather than that kind of like bundling up on one particular site. So what do we have coming up? Well, we'll find out as we go over to agent picks now. Again, we don't have access to Hyperspike's team. We are not in technically spectator mode. We are in captain mode right now. So what you get to see is just from the Aimdroid point of view, for better or for worse. I prefer full spectator, but anyway, cut over to what we've got right now over on Aimdroid. Still kind of picking. They've got 50 seconds in order to settle things out, but right now we've got Josh hanging out on Sage, Killjoy hanging out with, or Ace hanging out on Killjoy, kind of figuring out Sage. I've noticed more recently, I don't know if she got a buff or everybody else got nerfed. She's been seeing a lot more actual picks in competitive play. No complaints for me, honestly. I'm a Sage main, so works for me. All right. As we kind of get the last few seconds here, the announcer getting very mad, and those lock-ins coming up. We have XCS on Sova, Apasborg on Viper, Goose back on Yoru, Ace on Killjoy now instead of Cypher, and Josh, Jofu, Crispy Jofu on Gecko. And as we flip over, we now get to see what Hyperspike's playing. Freddy playing Sova, Shatter on Viper, Jean Yu on ISO, Dinky on Killjoy, Haunt on Chamber. So we're seeing a little bit more of kind of that, not a lot of duelist play. Like we obviously have ISO and we've got Yoru, but that's kind of it. not really any kind of that older duelist play, kind of falling off on the other roles. A lot more focus around kind of like ability play rather than just gunplay, and that's honestly nice to see, right? Because that's what makes Valorant unique compared to something like CS or something like Finals or something like Rainbow Six, where gunplay is the king on those maps, but abilities are really where Valorant shines and is unique. I guess Rainbow Six a little bit less so, but all right. As we start into the first round here, we've already see the Sova dart over on A side. It would be there's the drone. Goose does get spotted. ISO in the back there. A little bit of chip damage over on Josh. Down to 78 already. Goose. They hear Spike. They know it's on A. They're not going to pull off two hards offsides, though. Ping XCS from middle. Big second push. Jafu gets picked off on the backside of A by Haunt. A lot more steps, a lot bigger push. Isn't quite able to convert that. We're seeing kind of a repeat of that econ round on first. XCS now pushing up. Planted is down. One. Arrow from the back isn't quite ready. The swing from Dinky. I'm left speechless and with water in my face. Hail hydrated. Get some water. Always healthy for everybody. Very much kind of a repeat of what we saw last round or that last game, more accurately, where Aimdroid couldn't really play on Econ. Yes, they're playing defense this round. How much that affects... I mean, they really didn't get an opportunity to kind of convert and get a few more kills. Lightning did pick off one last round, but was it enough? Goose, pushing up, crouching. Playing quiet. Doesn't really hear anybody. There is a dart over on B side. Lot of guns. Forcing them off. One flank from mid. Replant goes down slightly off to the side. They're planting it underneath the box now.
Spike planted.
Ace. Kind of being the last. Ready? Spray comes out. Tries to push out. Tries to get one. But unfortunately, there are Guardians left and right.
You can trust my bots. They only malfunctioned that one time, and honestly, she won't miss that finger. Turn out.
Not too much to say around last round. Aimdroid doing a big kind of setup over on the A side. Bet wrong, though, as the rest of Hyperspike with their better weapons did kind of push out onto A and assert control. Seeing something a little similar like that today. Goose not hearing anything quite. Oh, is hearing the Sova drone. Big steps, 1, 2, does get pinged. Isn't quite able to convert that, does teleport away. That gives Hyperspike full control of the side at this point. Turret was spotted in mid and shot, which means that somebody's up. Appasbort trying to hold. The site may well be very much open and planted. He's nice and quiet, not hearing anything. Again, here. Not hearing anything. Swing, nothing. Smoke line does go back up. Plant's going down. They were just waiting for it to recharge.
Spike planted.
Spike planted. Sounds like it was at default. We'll find out here in a second. Yep. Kind of at the corner. Ace gets visibility. Can't really see too much past that. On site. Nobody. Maybe back. Ooh, back to back. Tap, tap. One. Viper was forced back, but unfortunately was able to convert that crispy. Trying to go for that last second thing, but unfortunately that smoke is not going to last long enough. Shatter grabbing Jofu. Killing any chance of a defuse. Aimdroid back in a weird spot again. I got a couple eyes.
Right here.
Just cool down. We're good enough to win.
Time to jump.
All right.
Scanning ahead.
Aimdroid trying to get a little more early information. Does manage to spot Cypher. Is spotted. Does get one tap down. Jean a little bit faster with the flick in order to convert that. Isn't able to convert that. Haunt getting the head tap over on Jofu. That's 2-3 down. Man, money really does buy wins, doesn't it? As long as it's in-game currency. Taps one on Schultz. Does manage to get a kill. It's still 1v4. Viper kind of around the corner. Shatter picking up Ace as they were trying to rotate back over to A.
Hey, little man, pump us up. Let's hear it.
Turn out.
This is arguably one of the games of all time. 0-4 right now.
Out.
Hyperspike leading the way. What they do, nobody knows, but an arrow is dropped down on A.
It's you and me.
Kennedy. 1v1 here. Goose does manage to win the 1v1. He's just better. XCS picking up one. Does manage to see right at the last second, but unable to convert that into another kill. Shatter sneaking up through mid. Jofu does spot him. Does run.
Last player standing.
Isn't able to convert to kill. Down onto Freddy. Hyperspike, last one alive. Doesn't quite know where people are at the moment. That's kind of the concern. There was a big push on A. That was effectively stopped, it seems. Then there was the mid push, and then there was kind of the intrusive thought from Josh trying to get a flank. Isn't able to convert that. Haunt with the head tap on Appa's right down the middle.
Level heads until we're home, yes? Good.
App is putting out the saving call here as they buy a stinger. Trying to buy up for next. General rule for that is about 17 to 1500 creds. Meanwhile, Hyperspike is basking in the credits. App is hiding in the corner.
Toxins going up.
Hiding in the rat corner. The rest of the team pushing up through mid. Whether or not they're aware of that. Enemy Killjoy on site. I was gonna hold that. Last moment does try to get a converted kill. Freddy though faster on the flick than the stinger can do damage. Everybody else on the flank is spotted, unfortunately, by Killjoy. Tap down. 3-3. A stronger position, that's for sure.
Right there. Dizzy's up top.
Free Phantom. Keeping up the momentum, trying to keep the push going. Drone, Dizzy.
Right here.
Blow him up, Mosh.
Shot done.
Up on the rooftop. Click, click, click.
Last player standing.
They're gonna hold it. Does get shot down. Unable to convert that. But the bomb's gonna go off before the time ends. That's gonna take out both of them.
If you're not
They
a
have the
good shot
econ, so it
today,
really
don't worry. There
doesn't
are
matter.
other ways to
But it
win.
is more death counters on them. Apologies to those watching on Twitch. I'm sure that the mid-roll ads are excellent and amusing to watch.
I'm coming for you, Sabine.
Right there. Time to jump.
Sova Arrow over on A side from Hyperspike. And a drone. Does get spotted. Your ISO's got his shield up. That kind of protects him, even though the shots never really hit him. Appisborg is managed to put on sight. Ult was dropped by Hyperspike. Spray going down.
A.
The bomb was never actually put down. Haunt getting a kind of a gap shot there.
Revealing area.
Sovadart picking up where people are at, up in the rooftops. Goose trying to do something. Dinky does manage to get on the rope. Hides for a little while, but Goose swings around the corner and uses the classic to get that final kill. This is the first round that Aimdroid has managed to pick up off of Hyperspike on this map.
Need a drop.
Can I get this? Need a drop. Thanks.
This gives kind of them an opportunity to use their credits now to kind of create a little bit of momentum. Obviously, if you look over on to Hyperspike, they still have the credits to kind of do whatever they want. Goose with the op. Big play. Op, or the ult comes out from Appas. Playing Judge. Lightning swinging out, taking the tune.
Revealing area.
Sovadart comes out.
There they are.
Does manage to see one.
Variable removed.
Drone going above. Appas hiding up on the rooftops as a rat should. There was a play over in mid.
Nowhere to run.
Did miss that. There's the ult.
Taken out.
Trying to find Appas, not finding anything. They are effectively stalled. They do push back. Josh gets caught in the crossfire over on
want
the
to
backside
play?
on attacker
Let's
spawn
play.
lobby. You can hear a bunch of footsteps. Picks off one. That's going to be the menace.
30 seconds left. One enemy remaining.
One left. Just Killjoy. Where is she? 13 seconds left.
10 seconds left.
Tried to run over to A. Unfortunately, not able to get that because App is just waiting patiently.
Vibe check. You feeling good?
All right.
Hope so.
There's the
Hope so.
momentum shift that Aimdroid needed. They dropped 6 rounds. Now they got to get 6 rounds in order to even this up.
Turret out.
Well, 4 more rounds. It's currently 2-6. Aimdroid is at 2. Hyperspike at 6. Hyperspike obviously leading in that case. A little bit of shuffle of who's doing what on each site.
Cutting through.
Goose holding B side by themselves. One little step is enough to make a mistake. Lots of steps in place. Nice and quiet. Goose not seeing
Portal
anything on
closed.
long. Appas
Destroyed.
sees one. Can't quite see into the entrance for tunnel, but is going to be able to see underneath. A little bit of communication between the two. 1, 2.
Spike down B.
One up in the rooftops in the box where he was supposed to be looking. Still, devastating blow for Hyperspike here.
30 seconds left.
Hoping to
One
see something.
enemy remaining.
XCS
Spike
does
down
manage
mid.
to see.
Decoy.
10 seconds left.
They know where he's at. They're just holding off access to either of the sites.
Bomb grenade out.
Holding their weapon.
Dart.
That'll save them a little bit of buy power into the next round.
Move in after I strike. That's when they win.
I believe Haunt had a Vandal, but he could have picked up something else during the meantime.
Turret out. Kill them.
Right here.
Goose holding steady.
Here.
Does manage to see one. Misses the first shot though. Unable to convert it. John Yu peeking out into mid, creating a little bit of control. There's meant to see one, sees two. Can't quite get out of the range of fire though. Even if he does drop a little bit of venom on the floor. Jofu hoping to hold them off.
Spike down.
Bigger play
A.
happening over on A side right now. Enemy dart gonna go up. Doesn't see anything. Jofu does hear the zip line.
You should run.
Isn't quite able to convert that
Spike
into a
planted.
kill. Sounds like it may have been planted below, unfortunately. A hop shot does pick off one. Is spotted. He's gonna run around for a quick sec. A little close with that killjoy. Does manage to immediately see one.
One enemy remaining.
Shoot. Does he know where the last one is? Yes, he does. Picked off Goose for 3 kills this round. A little bit of crouch spam, never hurt anybody. 4-6. Aimdroid maintaining their
Myself. Make sure to cover the
consistent
angles I
pressure
can't.
here on the reverse side.
Placing alarm bot.
Hyperspike was at a little bit of a an econ deficit come last round, so this round they're going to be able to actually be able to buy guns.
Sentry.
ISO's got their ult, so they'll be able to just pull off and do a 1v1 if they're confident.
Cutting through.
Man, this op has been in game for a while. Goose hoping to hold the site.
It's you and me.
Big pick.
Enemy down.
Lightning is just better. Unfortunately, is gonna get immediately killed out. That, however, does translate into a conversion. It's 3-3 though.
Toxin screen down.
Hearing steps in mid.
Oh,
A little bit of killjoy diff. Don't mind them.
Here.
Goose.
Here. Die.
Does manage to get the pick.
I'll handle this.
Uses that for his ult in order to see if he can get any visibility on what other people are placing. There's the other two. They've been spotted.
I'm back.
Whips this shot, drops the op. That means app is the last one.
30 seconds left.
Does get shot through the smoke. That's rough.
Last round before the switch.
last round to use our creds and abilities.
I need a
Don't
drop.
waste your firepower.
Dropping 1 round out of the 6 that they needed. That puts them in a little bit of an uphill battle, but at least not a 9-3 curse for Hyperspike. It's 4-7. Hyperspike still leading 7 points. Trying to get a lot of big push coming in from Hyperspike. Op shot does come down. That means they picked it up. Plant going down. It sounds like at default. Let off at just the wrong time. Not enough time in order to get it up. Not enough time to hold it down and get the plant.
Spike is A.
It's 4-2. They have spike control.
Toxin screen down.
Appa's doing amazing what we have for wall control here. Lots of anti-flank
One
movement.
enemy remaining.
Oh, Appa's managed to pick one. They try to use this, the rope to get over fast. Not able to use it. Appa's picking up 4 kills last round. Popping off the ult to make sure it gets used before the side switch.
Everyone makes fun of
German efficiency. Ha ha.
All right. Defense was where Aimdroid was king back on Fracture. Can we see if they could take off attack on Icebox? This was their map. This was their pick. So whether or not they didn't pick sides, but they were probably hoping for attack. Again, similar to kind of Fracture, of like that rotate time from defense is pretty brutal unless you go through a fairly dangerous area in the center here, right? Where Appa's already setting up.
Eyes up.
placing sentry.
Scanning ahead.
Goose taking the opportunity to run ahead. Soba dropping in his dart already. A little bit of chip damage onto the enemy ISO. Soba there. I was managed to pick off. Doesn't get spotted. Big fights happening right now. Haunt picking off 2. It's now 3v5. Jofi taking a little bit of chip damage. Johnny picking off XCS. This is the econ fight that they are not quite ready for. That was a shotgun. Isn't able to right click and convert that. Dinky getting off that last little pick on Jofi right at the end there. 5-8, Hyperspike leading. This is, I believe, a best of 2. So it is entirely possible that they do tie up here and they do 1-1. As we saw from Aimdroid's last game was also a draw where they went 1-1. Aimdroid setting up now for kind of a B-side push. Little bit of play, a little bit of noise happening over on A side. Shot on Dizzy. Very rarely do I actually ever see that. Mosh creating a pit.
Spike down B.
Is spotted on B. Isn't quite able to get the conversion. Does get a kill out. That's important. Switching out with the fiber optic gun skin. Appas. Out. It's 3-4. Not impossible. Not great considering lack of currency. Few shots through the box. Not able to quite get any damage there. Woo! Does see an outlaw. Shot was missed twice. That is a shotgun though. Trading out. Josh getting the the pick.
Down B. Last player standing.
Dinky swinging out with the Spectre. Bomb is within visible sight of the enemy.
30 seconds left.
Oh! Doubling up with each other. One hiding behind the yellow box. Not quite able to convert that. That was going to be an uphill battle. It's 5-9, Hyperspike leading.
You have to think. Turn out.
Isolate them and kill them.
Ace. Hoping to make some noise, maybe. At least holding off any kind of flank that comes out through A. Big push from Chamber. Goose does manage to TP, push up quite a bit onto site. A little bit of chip damage over through the corners. We saw that the enemy Silver Dart came from the back corner, was picked off.
Toxins going up.
Apple's work hiving up on top, trying to see if they can find anything unique come through. Enemy Viper wall does come through to try to cut down. If anything, it kind of helps a little bit. Defuse. They're off of the defuse. Are using the wall, kind of a push up. Does manage to see one. Apps converts that into a kill. 5v3. One more down. Shatter got picked off. Two more back to back. Everybody getting their trades in. Apples with 3 kills that round. It's now 6-9. Nice.
Fabric here is thin.
It's the best I got. I'm not a funny person. I'm funny looking.
I'll cut through.
Turret out.
Time to jump.
Deploying drone.
Turret destroyed.
One above. Chamber does get hit with a bunch of chip damage. Isn't quite ready. Picks off XCS and picks off Goose. This is not going to be a good round for Aimdroid already. There's the teleport.
Poison's off. Spike carrier killed.
Spike down B.
Enemy spotted B.
Toxins going up.
Hiding from the drone. Good swing from Appas. Picks off 2 more.
Toxins
Quite
down.
evenly squaring it up.
Last player standing.
Picked off 1. Isn't quite able to convert the second one with the Guardian shot coming from Jean. 6-10. Much closer game from what we're seeing. Aimdroid suffering here a little bit on the attack side. They did manage to pick off 1 round, but aren't able to essentially convert that momentum and hold it. So we're seeing a full buy from them this round. Less one little shield from Goose there, but Sylvie. Appas does see 1 up in tunnel. Does convert that into a kill. Turret's down 2 as well.
On my mark.
0 damage pick. That was the wrong ping, Lightning. Spray through the wall. Does manage to pick off Haunt. That's now 3-5. 5v3. Big steps.
Placing swarm grenade.
Android not being quiet about what their intent is. They are shuffling off to the other side of the map here. Making sure nobody rolls off on the other side.
Wingman's gonna plant spike.
Jofu finally using Wingman for his intended purpose, which is to plant the spike. I don't really ever see him used for actually stunning enemies. Plants down. Enemies are spotted. A little bit of chip damage taken.
Cutting through.
On both sides here. Avas. Playing you still.
Screen down.
Flash. No enemies, however, caught in that.
No fuel. Not enough fuel.
Ooh, app is picked off by the enemy Viper. Shatter.
1 enemy remaining.
Does get hit. Vulnerable and suppressed over on white, but that doesn't matter because there's still 3 more teammates. Josh getting the last kill.
My quiver is never full.
Setting a little bit more of a tempo, back and forth, back and forth. They can't keep this up though because they need to even it out.
Have funds to spare.
Little bit of an expensive round last time, but still enough econ in order to buy up weapons and shields, which is good. Hyperspike a little bit more on the eco-conscious side there, not having enough to quite buy shields and full rifles. We're likely to see some Spectres, some Bulldogs. coming out.
You want to play? Let's play.
Big switch up here from Aimdroid. Going again for that A side. They know somebody's up and close. Trying to bait somebody up. Flash going out. Dizzy does not see anybody. That gives the rest of Aimdroid a lot of confidence in order to push up at least to the wall. Doesn't see anybody. Spraying. That shotgun is menacing. Jofu getting picked off by Shatter. A lot of hold. Turret is still in place.
One enemy remaining.
Does flash his own teammate, but that's okay.
Revealing area. Reloading.
1v3.
Time to jump.
This is the tempo that they needed to set. Chamber ult, picking off one. Picking off two. Does get that last kill though. A damaging round for Aimdroid's Econ. They still had a pretty good chunk from last round, so it should be fine. Even Jofu's gonna be able to buy full shields and a gun. If not, util. May have a lot from last round considering he was the first to get picked off with that shotgun. Man, that was rough from Shatter. And then from the Hyperspike side of things on the Econ, 5600, 3600, 4600, 4600. We're going to be able to see some, you know, weapon buys and purchases that go along with that. Likely full rifles, full shields. Drones out. Giving them confidence in order to push up and at least create the initial. Goose playing hard and rough. Trade over in the middle.
It's you and me.
Yoru versus ISO. Let's see what happens. Does break the shield. Is able to convert it. Goose kind of stuck into a rough position though because he was right outside. Though the spike was planted and Viper's set was out. Hot shots coming around. Goose managed to pick off Shatter as they were trying to sneak behind the yellow box. Does manage to see one more. Whether or not Josh decides to swing and try to get that kill. Swing does not convert it into a kill though. Shoots it down. They're going to take it. Just run the opposite direction. Just barely misses it. Haunt though isn't able to stay alive. Does get picked off by the bomb.
Fix them apart. You clean up whatever's left.
That was a economically rough time for Aimdroid. However, teammates still have plenty of coin. The wealth shall be distributed amongst the team.
Quick peeks now.
Can you tell that my throat's getting a little sore after all this? 9-10, Hyperspike still leading. Aimdroid catching up quite a bit. Arrow dart on A site does clean off most of the big push on the initial side. Goose running in, trying to get some visibility. Does manage to find Yoru. Sees one up on Raptors as well. There's ISO. Trying to bait him out. 1, 2. Bomb is down. Isn't quite able to convert that. That judge is not powerful enough against Guardian to the face. It's down below. 1, 2. All that's left is Chamber. Likely on the flank. A little bit of a readjustment of priorities, some would say. Appa's not having a good record against that Chamber right now, though. Trying to get a little bit of revenge. Appa's does end up picking them off. 10-10, it's evened up now.
Circle better watch step. I need a drop.
Something momentum.
Can I get this?
Aimdroid, however, can't necessarily continue consisting of those half team wipes. It will pull down your average team econ round to round. big moment here for Hyperspike. This is going to be the opportunity in order to buy up,
Turn out.
get some utils, get some purchases going.
Drone.
Drone's coming around, doesn't quite see anybody. Josh using the Gecko ult in order to push up on the site. Ally planting all the way up on the top. Using the zip line to escape away into the nether. Does manage to spot one who's up on the flank. 2, 3. Everybody's on the flank.
Thrash is ready.
One enemy
One.
remaining. Last
Oh.
player standing.
1v1. There we go. Aimdroid taking a pretty good hit on their econ with that. It's 11-10.
Need help figuring out how?
Close to the end. They have a little bit of cash banked up, but if they suffer another one of those, they're going to be suffering from success, some would say.
Keep it cool. That's how you survive.
Those are words to live by.
Ahead.
Killjoy. Dart noise, shots coming around. Does manage to spot one over on the zip line.
Reloading.
Little bit of push up, shatter, grabbing Goose up in the front, managing to pick off Josh.
Spike down B.
Big plays coming over here from
Last
Aimdroid,
player
picking off
standing.
another one. Shatter on the third shot. Ice, all alone. Doesn't know where his next enemy is going to come from. There's one. Oh, and two more ready for him as soon as he peeked his head out. 11-11 tied up.
So, do we mix it up? Double down? Let's talk.
Heads up to those watching on Twitch. There's an ad starting in 30 seconds. 30 seconds? 16 seconds? Oh, I should have said that like a minute ago, considering the delay. Well. Oh, well. Good luck. 11-11 tied up now between Aimdroid and Hyperspike.
Don't overthink it.
Aimdroid leading for a few rounds. Lost their momentum last. It's all tied up.
Revealing area.
Dart coming out on A side, immediately shot down, wasn't able to get any kind of scan out. But they know at least two people are really close by, based off of that dizzy. Enemy drone coming out, does manage to ping. Sprayed through. Isn't able to take down the Killjoy. Oh, right at the end there, they got a last second. Right there around the corner. Shatter, back to back. 2v4. Not impossible. They've done it before.
Toxin screen down.
Last player standing.
Not quite ideal for his teammate. Picking up one. Two.
Drop the spike.
Oh, full shields. Appa's not able to convert that last kill that he needed in the ISO, but Chamber would have been there for him anyway.
Match point.
Remember, nobody's a hero when they're crying.
11-12 match point. This could be the shot that Hyperspike needs it in order to clutch up, tie out at least this game or this match set. Aimdroid wanting to prevent that from happening.
See you on the other side.
I'll handle this.
This is less than ideal actually for Aimdroid, considering they are at a econ disadvantage. A dimensional drift is about to drop out real quick. Isn't able to convert it.
Spike down
3,
B.
2 versus 4.
Toxin screen down. The poison
Appa
orb emitted.
gets his revenge.
Last player
One up,
standing.
one above. This is the opportunity. Does manage to convert it. Enemy Killjoy. Rude. Does manage to get that last second shot where that grenade was going to land. 10 health and a dream. Lightning prepped, waiting for those shots to come through. 40 seconds on the clock. And such is the line of physics. Killjoy would have been able to see Sova's side of their body before the camera would have seen on that. But with that ties it up. That means it's going to be 1-1, another tie for Aimdroid, and the first try for Hyperspike being able to challenge that kind of first place spot. It's been great having you guys here, and I hope that hope that I see you guys again soon. TM maybe.